In this video, we're gonna go over what it takes to use a FlatList and also the input. For the input, how to make it reactive and save it using useState and hooks. And I'm gonna explain all the attributes you need. And same thing for the FlatList. The FlatList is a way for you to render a bunch of items that's in the data. So in our data, we have a JSON file. And from that JSON file, we can get the titles and the ID, and this is how the data gets fed into the FlatList. And I'll go over that later on the videos, so stay tuned. But first, we're gonna talk about the input and what it takes, the text, and what it takes to do it. We need to have a text input. So for you to be able to put things in your to-do list, and for the machining in React Native, you need a variable. You need it to be reactive. So you need to use hooks, especially useState, and we're going to call the variable text. And then when it changes, you can call the onChangeText function. So let's code it in. First, we need to look up where our like reactive components are. So it would be here. Maybe I should put in like a command line. So I'm going to this is where the reactive variables and functions are. Okay. So I'm gonna set some space here, and I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna put another comment, be like, this is to keep track of the count. And then for the next one, we're gonna put like here, space here. We're gonna put in, this is for the input. So it's gonna be const text, comma, onChangeText equals useState, and inside would be the default. So for us, it's going to be some dummy text. It's going to be a string. We're going to write it. From there, we need to put a text input. And I want it right after the button. So it's going to be right for the code, right after the button is. So it's going to be somewhere here. Added some space after the tag here where it closes the button and before the view. So for now, we're going to put the text input like so, and I'm going to make some space for the attributes. Kind of want to show a little bit. I'm getting it stopped showing up, so you can look for errors when you go to inspect console. You go to console, I believe, and right here on kind exception, text input is not defined. It's only the index, what line it is. So it's like 47 is right here. So the problem is probably that we didn't import it. So let's do that right now. Just by looking at our imports, it's probably going to be up here somewhere. So let's hit enter. Text, there it is. Text input, comma, s right. There we go. Now it's working again. So I'm going to add some space in the text input. Here, insert some spaces, 3 lines. So let's look at what we can type. So it's going to be style equals, and it's going to be the styles. Styles container 1. And we also need onChange. So when the text changes, it's going to call this function, and it's linked up to our onChangeText in our useState. And lastly, we need the value, of course, which is going to be the text variable. I'm going to write it, and here we have it, the dummy text. So anytime we type, it's going to trigger the onChangeText. So I put in a tag for FlatList, and of course it broke because we need to import it. So let's do that right now. So all the way in the top in the imports, right here, the first thing I'm going to put is FlatList. FlatList, comma, I'll write it, and it should show. There we go. From the FlatList, we need three things. We need the data, which equals, and we're going to put it in a little bit. We need the render item. And of course, we're going to leave it blank for now. And lastly, we need the key extractor, which equals blank for now. Now for the data, it needs to be in a JSON object format. So let's put in data for now, big data, and let's create that JSON object all the way in the top. Let's create that JSON object, so it's going to be constant data equals square brackets, and inside the brackets you need little curly braces separated, and each of them is an object, right? So we're gonna have two attributes. It's gonna be ID, and then it's gonna be one, and then the text that we need, we're gonna put title, and here will be the text to do one, and we just do this for the other two. So I copied and pasted twice, and I changed the number to 2, title to do 2, and ID 3 and to do 3. Let's do key extractor. This is how it relates some key or ID, and it just take the item, and for the mapping will go into some ID. So it's gonna be item goes to item ID, and we need parentheses around the item for some reason. I'm not sure why, but we just need it. Right. From there, for the item, render item, we need to, it's gonna pass an object every time as a parameter. So we need to put the parentheses, the curly braces first. It's gonna be curly braces inside the item, and then outside will be parentheses, and then you need it to map to text. I'm gonna close it to text, and inside here we can put the item. It's gonna be in curly braces again, item dot title. Write it. So after thought, I had some typos. First, it needed this to be a string, so put item ID to string, and also you need to put a view. It's just for the FlatList itself. The purpose of this video is to show how to make a to-do list in React Native, and all the libraries you need to know, and all the things like FlatList and useState and hooks that you need to know in React Native for you to in order to make a to-do list. And for me, it's different than Android, and it's a little bit more succinct. I can see this as a strength of React Native by having libraries that you can use in iPhone and Android and on the web. But I started to see some of the pitfalls, like the show alert. There's no simple function that just shows an alert, and there's other libraries, not here the case, where it does break down and you have to use different syntax depending on which device you use. So I haven't seen that much, but I think I will start to see it if I do things like run something in the background. But this is very front facing, and React Native is really good with that. And I think it will lack when it comes to stuff that's under the hood, and that's more back end in my opinion. So I just want to call it a night. This is what I have so far for the to-do list, and I need to add more functionality. For example, when I click the button, When you change this text, when I click this button, the text should appear over here. So how I plan on doing it is by, when I do the click listener here, it calls a function that adds to it, basically makes another array and puts it in here. Or it's not an array, it's like a JSON file, but same thing. So stay tuned on the next video. I'll try to do that, and just working my way up for the to-do list and getting to know all the components in React Native, and I think it's good for anyone to see. And stay tuned for more videos.